All right, so we're going to talk about something I call the art of the unsubscribe, because unsubscribes are boring and they don't do a lot other than let somebody off your list. And so I think that an unsubscribe should be a little bit more than that. It should not just be a silly little link at the bottom of an email that's hidden, by the way, probably written in a gray font, and it's tiny font, and it just says unsubscribe. And you're like, I hope nobody sees that. So the art of the unsubscribe is what we're going to go into now. So first of all, what's an unsubscribe? We have to cover this. It's an opt-out for an email. It allows somebody to let you know that they really don't want your emails anymore, but they're doing it nicely, just like what Lucho was saying earlier. We don't as marketers, I think we all feel we don't want to just mark someone's email as spam. We're not trying to gouge anybody, but we would like to politely request to be off of a list maybe. And we want to give our people an option to do that as well. It's a simple way for them to just remove themselves from your list. And it's also a matter of doing business. The other reason is because of this thing in America called canned spam. We have these regulations in the US that are underneath the Federal Trade Commission that we have to abide by. I, just like you, hate red tape and all of this stuff, all these rules and everything, but it is what it is. So I actually have a whole lesson just on canned spam because I want to walk you through how to do this well. It encourages the user to unsubscribe instead of marking something as spam. It increases positive engagement stats overall. So think about it this way. If you've got a bunch of people on your list and some of them don't really want to be there, even if they're not marking it as a complaint or junk or something like that, they're just kind of like begrudgingly bypassing your email in their inbox. They're not positively engaging. So overall, your statistics are weighted down. You're not going to get as high of an open rate if you have a bunch of people on your list who are just not willing to play. So if we can let those guys go gracefully, well, then we're going to have much higher KPIs where they need to be higher. We're going to have some nice higher open rates, better conversion rates, and all of that. And an unsubscribe feeds high reputation because, frankly, it gets better deliverability. So as those numbers start to improve, then clearly Google's going to see something and go, oh, wow, this is looking really good over here. People like this stuff. It's better to lose the majority of your list if they're dragging your numbers down. We have clients, I think one of them, I have a slide in here of some messages he sent me, but we have a client one time that was coming over from Infusionsoft to High Level. He had like 50,000 people on his list. And the reason he was moving from Infusionsoft at that particular moment wasn't because he didn't like it. He loved Infusionsoft. He was certified in Infusionsoft. He'd been using it since they first came out. He knew the wife of the owner. He did not want to leave, but Infusionsoft ran into a little problem. This was probably a couple years ago, where they fell out of the good graces of Yahoo. And so everybody was sending email to their lists, and all the people that were Yahoo or AOL or Verizon, basically those weren't delivering. And for him, that was a third of his list. And the people on his list weren't just people on a list. They were people who had subscribed to a daily newsletter, which they were paying for. It was related to stocks. So when they don't get that newsletter, they're not happy about it. So imagine how quickly he found out that this was a problem. And then for 2 weeks, he tried to work with Infusionsoft on a way to figure that out. And Infusionsoft was basically, I'll be honest with you, they were kind of poo-pooing it. And they were saying, there's nothing really wrong here. And after about 2 weeks, they finally came out and said what was happening, which ticked him off even more. And that's how I met him. And so we moved stuff over. And when we did that, we cleaned his list. And his 50K list went down to about 25K. And he was ecstatic. Because when we started sending to half the list, all of a sudden his numbers went just shot up. It was amazing. He had people responding to him that hadn't responded before. It just was a night and day difference for him. So getting rid of half the list sounds like a really concerning thing for a lot of us, right? We're like, ooh, I worked hard for those leads, I've been doing this a while. So when we talk to people about, we're going to clean your list, we're going to get rid of all these people and those people, they're really nervous about it and we're excited. And it's a hard transition for us to kind of help them move to that place until we're able to start sending, and then they start seeing the numbers and they start seeing not just the numbers, but they start seeing the interactions and they go, oh my gosh. And then they start hearing from people that say, I wasn't getting your emails before. That's fun. So I'd rather lose half the list if we need to get to where we're trying to go. It's much like this. This poor guy, I don't know what he was doing, but that does not look fun at all. It's uphill and there's a lot of baggage and we're trying to sort of like get rid of the dead weight. Does he need all of those things? Was the can opener absolutely necessary? I don't know. My husband and I, we used to do autocrossing, which is basically a souped up car that goes around a parking lot or a rally road of some sort, cones, gates, like turns you have to make and stuff, and you're doing it based on times and you're competing against yourself at the moment, but then there's a roster of all the other people that went through the same course. So it's not like you're going to run into other people, thank God, because that'd be a problem if I was doing that. Plus I was pregnant a lot of the time we were doing that. That seatbelt was not fun. And we used to have a saying when we were assessing like how we could be faster, we would say, take care of the ounces and the pounds will take care of themselves. So if we got rid of a nut, we were taking care of the ounces. And we knew that that nut and that little section of wire that we shortened, or that piece of the inner part of the door that we didn't need because we don't really care if the windows roll up or down, all of those little things that would come off became pounds. And so once that starts to release, all of a sudden things start to get better and we can get faster times. So do unsubscribes hurt deliverability? I get this question a lot. There are 3 types of engagement, right? There's obviously positive engagement, there's negative engagement, and then there's no engagement. There's like people who just aren't doing anything. We all do it. So the positive engagement, the opens and the clicks and the replies, we want all of that. Marketing email as safe or not junk is also positive engagement. If you see an email that's in your spam folder and you're like, no, I don't want this here, and you mark it as safe, and then they finally pull in the pictures and the buttons and stuff for you and they pop it over into your inbox and you're like, wait, where'd the email go? I hate it when I do that. Mark as safe and then it disappears. It's like, wait, I was looking at that email. Now I have to go over to the inbox and figure out what day was that on because now I'm scrolling trying to find it, right? Couple little things I could talk to Google about to help me out there. But marking an email as safe or not junk is positive engagement. Moving an email from the junk folder or the spam folder over to the inbox is positive engagement. We don't have stats on any of this stuff. Starring an email. If you guys have a email system that lets you like mark something with a star or mark it as important, or you maybe build well, I'll tell you that in a minute. But anyway, you can forward, if you forward an email, if you're sharing an email, think of it like sharing a Facebook post. Sharing counts as positive engagement. Starring or marking as important, or even if you build a route. If you build a route, and when you do this like in Gmail, you can build a route and say all the emails with this in the subject line or from this domain or from this person, whatever, I want them all to be labeled as, I love this email, right? Whatever it is. And then in the little settings, you can say mark as important. Yeah, that's all positive engagement. Negative engagement, marking an email as junk or spam. Clearly, we all kind of know that's going to be a problem. Moving an email from the inbox over to, so we made it to the inbox, yay! And then they go, I'm dragging that over into the spam folder. Okay, shoot. We don't have a stat for that, by the way. We don't know how much that's happening to us. We just know that it happens because we do it. So there you go. And in some email clients, there's buttons or prompts where you can report an email as spam. So much like, I think it was Lucio that was talking about that earlier. When you mark an email as unsubscribed, more than just Google, like some systems will just pop up a, hey, did you want to mark this as spam too? We noticed you didn't like this email. You marked it as unsubscribed. Would you also like to mark it as junk? Awesome. I mean, no, but a lot of people don't understand. And so they're like, well, sure. I mean, if that helps me, that's great. All of these actions count as complaints and negative engagement, and it affects your complaint rate overall. Complaints hurt. I mean, now who likes to have somebody complain about something? I asked you guys over and over the last couple, 3 days, like, how are things going? Good, bad, or ugly? I want to hear the ups. I want to hear the downs. I do want to hear the downs because I want to grow from it. I want to make things better for you today and maybe next time we do something like this. But it hurts a little bit when you hear a complaint, especially if you're not asking for it or not expecting it. Or like, what if somebody leaves a bad review? And you're like, shoot, because you know the context. You know the context of what really happened. And they leave a bad review, and now it's all over freaking internet land. And no one else knows the context of what happened. And it hurts. It increases your complaint rate, though, so that hurts also. That's not an emotion, that just is a fact. It decreases the domain and or IP reputation, and it can compromise your account status, your domain status. So all of these things we've talked about a lot. You can see where complaints can hurt. When a complaint makes sense, though, is if it's a malicious email or something downright spammy. And when I go into lesson on can spam, I'll show you a picture of my spam folder. It's really pretty. It's got all kinds of awesome stuff, apparently. I'm going to have a lot of money pretty soon. So if it's malicious or downright spammy, then that makes sense to mark it as spam. I would hope that we would be doing that. Other reasons for complaints, they just don't realize that it's hurting your reputation. They just want to stop getting the emails. They're not trying to be mean. They just don't understand what it really means to mark something as spam versus an unsubscribe. And if you think about it, yeah, we talked about the prompts, but if you think about it, an unsubscribe is like doing business. It's like if Carrie and I worked together and Carrie thought I was a total turd bucket, because it could happen. That's a technical term for all you medical people out there. Then, she might ask for a refund. And that would be doing business. That would be appropriate. In fact, anytime we work with anybody, we always tell them, for the first 30 days, you can ask for a refund for any reason. We don't care what it is, because frankly, that's great feedback. If someone's going to ask me for a refund, I'm hoping that they're going to at least tell me why. Not because I'm going to try to force them to stay with us or whatever. I mean, if I really am a turd bucket, Carrie should probably get a refund and go on her merry way. Maybe I should pay her to leave, just to, like, lovely parting gift. But we always offer a full 30-day money-back guarantee on anything we do, because it's not about me or my feelings or if you like me or not. Maybe I sold you a bill of goods, I don't know, and you thought you were coming in and working with us on something, and it ended up being something other than what you thought you were going to be doing or getting, or it just isn't working, or maybe you just decided you don't want to do this business anymore. All of that is relevant. And so that's doing business. And that'd be like an unsubscribe. That's doing business. But if you mark something as spam or junk, or you complain about the email, that's more like a chargeback. And if Carrie does a chargeback, first of all, she's a friend, so she's in big trouble. Because I'm going to have a little talk with Carrie and be like, that's not cool, Carrie. I may be a turd bucket, but you are too now. That's not happening. Anyway, so think of it like chargeback versus refund request. Like, complaint is poking a finger in the side and trying to gouge somebody, like, you're pissing me off and I don't like you anymore and I don't want your stuff. And then an unsubscribe is just doing business. That's the professional way to handle the situation. So when the email provider prompts the action with the easy button, that drives me insane, because it's like, no, someone's trying to be kind and professional, like our mamas taught us, right? Respectful. And then you're shoving this thing in their face like, hey, would you also like to stick a knife in it before you walk away? Sure, that sounds fun. All right. And then this is the biggest reason why people complain, because they can't find an unsubscribe option. I think I heard somebody yesterday, the day before, talking about this very problem. It might have been somebody on my team. We have this problem all the time. We have a client who has clients. We have a client who has 50, 100, several thousand sub-accounts in their high level. Somebody gets dinged for a high complaint rate because we're monitoring all of that stuff. And we're not like the others. We say, hi, Sally. It looks like you have a high complaint rate with your email, and your email privileges are at risk of being disabled, or maybe already have been disabled, and we would like to help you with that. Can you please fill out this form within the next 24 to 48 hours so we can assist you with this matter? That's what we say. And many times, as we go digging through the answers to the form, because we ask them about their unsubscribe option, we find out they don't have one. So sometimes it's a really simple fix. Just give people a way to opt out nicely, with respect. Unsubscribes do not hurt your reputation. They do not count as a complaint. It's just doing business. So it's a simple no thank you. It's polite, like Mama taught us. And it doesn't hurt your sender reputation. And I get this question a lot too, so I just want to make sure we said that out loud. Everybody's like, well, if we give them an unsubscribe option and we get too many people clicking it, then that's going to hurt us, right? No, that's going to help. So it doesn't hurt the sender reputation. It's actually part of good list hygiene practices. It helps you send relevant content to people who actually have an interest in it. Imagine that. You're going to send an email and someone wants to see it. Someone wants to interact with it. That's awesome. That's going to be so fun. When that starts to happen with you, if it's not happening already and then it starts to happen, you will notice a very big difference, not just in your numbers, but in your mood. Because you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I've never heard these kind of comments or compliments before. It's really cool. And it keeps your complaint rates down. So what most people do is they just put, an unsubscribe link down here at the bottom, or they've got a little footer and they have this tiny little font that has unsubscribe here, and it's written in a small font. Hopefully no one's going to see it, and it's probably in a gray font or something like that. It's not like it's bright orange, with a stars all around it or anything. It's usually just kind of like hidden down there at the bottom. And some people, so here's what most people do, unsubscribe link at the bottom. Some people will do a user-specific unsubscribe of some sort that allows control over what happens next. So if you're in software like ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft, you just have to use whatever they give you. Like, you don't get to choose how you let people unsubscribe from your list. The software controls it. If you heard my husband a few minutes ago from the back of the room saying she's a woman who likes options, I also like control, because control is how I get the results that I want. So I like this option of being able to control what happens next when somebody clicks on that link. And it also helps me get the right content to the right people, because if I'm allowing them to unsubscribe, maybe they just don't want newsletters anymore. Maybe they definitely want my 30 Days to Unsubscribe series, because that's hilarious. If you aren't in it, it's funny. Yeah, there we go. We got some thumbs up in the back. But maybe they don't want newsletters, and that's okay. Like, shoot, personal preference. Let's make sure that you get what you want and don't get what you don't want. That's awesome. But here's what else you can do. Why not make an offer? I know, right? They hit the unsubscribe. What are they unsubscribing from? Your email, but probably because of the type of email or the offers that you're making or the products or services that you have. But is there something else we can do on that page to sort of like capture a small, even if it's 1%, can we capture a small percent of people that are unsubscribing and bring them back into the ecosystem for something else, possibly? Something like this. This is a mock. It's not even a real message, but it basically says you've successfully unsubscribed. But before you go, and then this section says offer something of great value here. Low friction, low cost, give away the farm. Do something crazy. Consider products and services of your own. Like major value. Or here's a thought, offer an affiliate offer that makes sense. That makes sense. They're opting out of your stuff. But is there something complementary that you can make an affiliate commission off of that's not your stuff, but it might be of interest to the person that's opting out? This is your chance to convert an unsubscriber into a paying user. And by the way, the button says, grab it now, because I'm being cheeky. This is just me doing a Google search on inbox cleaner. There are inbox cleaners out there that you can actually sign up to be affiliates for. Interesting concept. You're unsubscribing from my email because you're trying to clean up your inbox. What if on the way out the door, you offer them a tool that helps them actually do just that, helps them keep their inbox clean? And you happen to be an affiliate. So every time somebody grabs that, which right now might be a really good time because they're thinking about it, they're probably unsubscribing more than just yours. They're probably just trying to clean up their email. Why not just sign up for an affiliate option for an inbox cleaner and offer them that on the way out the door. If you can't think of anything else, like, hey, this could be it. Oh, yeah. I should have put that GIF up there with the guys like, oh, yeah. Okay, now I gave you a couple of ideas, but let your minds run rampant, right? Let's just start thinking about it. If this was a girlfriend or a boyfriend that was getting ready to, they pack their bags, man, they're going, and you really love this person and you want them to stay, what is the last ditch effort that you could make to keep them? To show them that you care. Well, you could get naked, but for all I know, that's the reason they left.
Touche. Touche.
But I'm bummed, right?
Touche. That was good. That was good. Touche.
I like that idea. I've had a lot of luck offering an SMS top.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so let me repeat that. He said he likes this idea, and I think you said and. He sometimes will offer them an option to get on the SMS list. Maybe they just don't like email. Is your preferred method of communication? Like, I get it. Email can be a bear. That's the word I'll use. Email can be a bear. Aren't you sick and tired of the email accounts that are just full of all kinds of crazy caca? And it's like, how am I supposed to get through this? I barely have time to work through what I got today, much less yesterday and the day before that I haven't gotten to. Would it make sense for us to talk with you over text? Would that work better for you?
Yep.
Use your imagination. You can do discount codes, percentages of off. I'm talking crazy percents. These people are on their way out. I mean, is it going to hurt you to give away something? For free or almost free? Like, is it going to hurt? No. Most of the time, it's not going to hurt, right? You're not handing them a Tesla or something. Do a free audit. I don't know what kind of business everybody has, but it could be something like you could do a free audit. And the words free audit might not be the sexiest thing to somebody who's hopping off your list. So get a little jiggy with that language too, but find ways to talk to them about something you could do, an offer of value. Book a call and get money off. This is a little bit more forward. I mean, if they've packed their bags and they're still inside the house, sitting on the couch crying, that might be a time to offer to have a conversation. But if they have run out the door yelling and screaming, this might not be the best offer. And all your clothes have been thrown out the window too, by the way. You could do a buy one, get one of some sort. Don't do this. Picture this in the dating and world, like I'm telling you about the person that's packed their bags. Do you have any friends that might be interested? I don't think that's going to go over well. I mean, I know you and I aren't working out.
Right.
Do you have a sister?
How
about your mom?
You don't want this to
Are you high-fiving me?
No.
I'm sorry. So
that works.
So buy one, get one. Okay. Or a congruent affiliate offer is also a great option. But whatever you do, just make sure you're giving people an option to get off your list. And then just try to make it a soft landing.